Hello, and I would like to welcome everyone to episode 1 of a Minecraft series. And what we're going to do in this series is we are going to focus on building a replica, a model, life size, of Edinboro University of Pennsylvania. So that is going to be the plan for what we want to do in this series. And so what we're doing is we are currently located at our little base of operations for where we're going to get started. And so down here we're going to have we're going to build some maps of our area that we're going to be building. And so far nothing has been done yet. All we have managed is we have placed this banner here in this corner, and this is going to be one of the corners for the project. So what I want to do is I just kind of want to give you a brief idea of what we're going to be doing here. So I'm going to pop up a little image. And so as you can see here, this is a map that shows Edinboro University of Pennsylvania. In case you're wondering, it's a university that's just south of Erie, Pennsylvania. So it's in the northwest corner of the state. Now, as you look at this map, what you'll notice is there is the yellow kind of area. It represents the university grounds. And then I've actually put some red dots at some specific corner points. That's going to be our plan today, is to actually get those points marked out. Okay. Now, we are going to be doing this in a life-size manner. And so what happens is we're going to have 1 meter matches up with 1 block in Minecraft. And so that's basically going to be, when we build a building, the dimensions, the size of that building is going to be in proportion to the character that we are going to have. Now, this is going to be a big project. So what that means is from north to south, if you take that far right side, that road, Perry Lane, basically runs north to south, which makes this nice and easy. We're going to kind of just run straight north to south on our map. And from the very bottom to the very top is a little over 1,200 blocks. So that's going to be the height. And if you go from Perry Lane to the red mark on the far left, all the way to the west, that is roughly 1,200 blocks. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty good size project. Now, what we are going to do is we are actually going to build this on a server that I host, but it's also played on by some math and computer science students. Actually, will play on this map. So what we're going to do is this is going to be on a server, and this is going to all be built in survival mode. So I have a character here. I've already got myself geared up, and I've gone through that stuff, getting the base built and building farms. And I got to the point, it's like, well, I want to build something interesting. And so what we're going to do is, in this series, we're going to focus on building a life-size model of the campus. We're going to build the buildings, we're going to have the paths for the sidewalks, the roads. All of that is what we're going to be focusing on. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have some coordinates written down that mark those red dots, those points. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of build this little kind of shape here. I'm going to add a little bit carpet to this, more carpet here. That way, when we map this area out, we can actually see this, and that's going to kind of designate those corner points. All right, so here's going to be the first one. Now, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to open up a map now. And so as you can see, here's our map. Now, to make things easier on ourselves, we're actually going to zoom these out once. And we're going to use our cartography table to do that. Now, when we do this, it should take roughly 7 maps, 7 by 7, to basically cover everything we want to deal with. Okay, if we didn't zoom out, it would be roughly like 14 maps by 14, which I think is a little too big. And if we were to zoom in again, it'd be like a 3 by 3, 4 by 4, but you'd lose a lot of detail if you did that. So I think we're going to try this zoomed out once. Down the road, as a final finished map, we may decide to have a couple at the different zoom levels just to see what they look like. All right, so this banner here, I'm going to click on it. Let me get my map here because I want that banner to actually show up on our map. Yep, there it is. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to fly to our second point. Now, we are currently at 4950 and 0. Okay, and so I spent a good bit of time trying to figure out where to place this. There's going to be a lot of terrain adjustments are going to be needed to be done in the beginning, but that's okay. So 4950 and 0. So what we need to do is we actually need to fly north to 4950 and negative 1259. So we're actually going to fly off a good distance. All right. Now, what we're going to do is as we are going that direction, I'm going to leave this up here, all this information so I can track my coordinates. We are actually going to pop open the new maps as we go. All right, so once we get out of the border of this map, we'll pop open a new one. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out enough to kind of get the outside border of our shape, and then hopefully everything works out well. So let's see how far we get before nightfall. I don't want to be running around with mobs all over the place. All right, so we're going to fly north. So there we have a village, and we are actually going to take advantage of that village when we get there. The idea is we are going to need a lot of red bricks. And so one of my plans is going to be we're going to save that village, block it off, and get some villagers there. So we'll do a little bit of work with that. I'll record that and kind of show that off a little bit. And that will allow us to get some masons so that we can get some red bricks easily. But I also want to do it because I have some ideas on getting villagers populated throughout the campus. So as we do this, I thought it would be interesting if we can actually make it look interesting where we would actually have villagers roaming around that could represent like people on campus. All right, so we got this one. All right, so as you can see, we're zooming these out, putting these here. Okay. And is it night? Nope, we're still good. Okay, we're gonna fly north. So where did we need to go? Negative 1259. So we got a good bit to go, but that is okay. And then eventually I will come back later and kind of finish off filling out these maps. That way we have them. So that's the first 3 going up that way. I'm going to try to organize these in a way that I can kind of keep track of them. The last thing I'm going to do is, I'm off the dot. Okay. Is spend a lot of time trying to figure out how on earth these maps are going to fit. So I want to kind of try to do this in a nice, organized way. That way, when I go back to the beginning, I don't have to sit there and try to guess as to which map went where. All right, so we're going to have another stop off. And so that's going to be this next map. All right, so the next one. Okay. So that is going to be the process for this beginning part, is flying along, building our maps, getting them filled out a little bit, and then getting to that first spot. So negative 1259. Now, unfortunately, all of this water here, we're going to have to kind of deal with it when we get there. And so, as I said, this is going to be a lot of terrain that's going to need to be modified. Now, the nice thing is, I decided it would be easier to deal with the water than it would be to have a bunch of mountains. Because the campus is relatively flat, and so I thought it'd be a lot easier if we just can kind of come along and just build over top of the water. I'm not even going to try to drain the water. I'm not going to fill it in. We're just going to terraform over top of it, and that will be a lot easier than trying to clear out huge mountain ranges. We will have a few that we will have to deal with, but that will be okay. We will deal with that when we get there. And so let's see, 12:59, and I have a feeling we are going to be in the water for this one. So 49, 50, 12:59. All right, so let's go ahead and get some red wool and try to get to where we need to go. So 49, 50. Ooh, maybe we won't be in the water. 12:51. Nope, we are. All right. So 12:59. Nope. I almost put it in the wrong spot. All right. So this is going to be the next corner of our project. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this out so it's 4x4. That way it hopefully shows up if people happen to come by. We do have a Discord server set up that I will be posting this on. That way people are well aware of where this project is. That way they don't come along and start building in this area. Okay, so there we go. So we did basically 6 maps going up. All right, so now what we need to do, don't know, oh, I should have left that map there because I want to track that one. So from here we need to go to 45, 20, and 1092. So this one's going to be a little bit of a trek. And so we'll leave this map here so that we can see when we fly off of it. So make sure I'm facing the right direction, and we will fly this way. And so I'm thinking we will cut across into here. See, that whole mountain's going to have to go. So we are going to have some mountains we are going to have to deal with. And so this map is the one that's done. Now this is the new one. And so as we do this, we're going to plot these out, and we're going to have to clear out some mountains. So let's see here. Where are we going? 45, 20, 1092. Negative 1092. So hopefully we can get most of the way there on this map. So 45, 20 take, oh boy. Okay. So 45, 20 is here, and 1092. So we need to actually go south. And I am off of this map. So before we go there, let's go ahead and make a new map. And so, I'm going to run out of space, and I am going, let's see, 113. So they count by 2. So hopefully, if I can do it maybe that way, kind of keep track of this. That's going to be a fun part, is coming back and trying to get all of these maps to line up. So 45, 20, negative 1092. So basically we need to go up and over, and almost a little bit too far. Okay, so 1092. I'm going to keep forgetting a negative, but that's okay. So 45, 20, and here we go. So here is our next spot. As you can see, we're barely on this map. Okay. So, let's see here. So where's our red wool? And I'm not being too precise on where this is. I mean, if we're off by a block, that's not going to make a huge difference as to what is happening. So let's go ahead and get this banner to show up. And why is it not showing? There we go. Did it? Yep. Now you can barely see it. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting some of these maps away because I'm running out of space here. Okay. We can actually put some of that red wool away. All right. So now we have where we go into next. We need to go to 4520. So we're actually just going to head straight south from here. And we're going to go to negative 861. So 4520, negative 861. And I should open up this map because I think we have entered a new map. I hope we did. If not, that's going to make it interesting trying to get everything lined up if we actually have a duplicate in there. Nope, we're good. All right. So this is going to be a long-term project because we're going to be building this in survival. And I thought it'd be interesting if people wanted to just kind of use it to kind of let's roam around the campus. And what we'll do is we're actually going to try to build replicas of all the different buildings on campus. We'll get a bunch of banners marked up and get them all labeled. That way we are actually going to have a model of the campus for people to roam around in Minecraft. Alright, so here's our next banner. And so let's go ahead and try to do that. There we go. Yep, okay. Alright, and so now from here we need to go to 4254 758. So we need to actually go to the west and south. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fly a little bit, pop into a new map, and then we should be there, hopefully there shortly. Alright, so we'll fly over here, and then we'll pop open another map. I'm going to go through a lot of maps. I'm doing this. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to make copies of all of these maps. So what we'll do is we'll have copies set back at the base, and then we'll have that. So 4520, negative 861. So I'll fly while I'm talking. No, 758. Okay, so we're basically where we need to go. So 4254. Alright, so what we're going to do is we'll have the map there, and then I'll carry these maps around with me so that as I do different projects, I can kind of update them as we go. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this first initial setup done, and then I am actually going to come back, do this off screen, and actually get all of these maps completely filled out. We need a new map now. Get all of these maps completely filled out, and then have a set with me. That way, as I'm building this and doing things, I can actually have a set that I update, and then have a set built in item frames to kind of keep track of what is happening. And then we can kind of see the progress as we go. So now we need 4156 593. So we need to go mostly this direction. Hopefully we're on the same map. 4156. Good. And then 593. Okay, we flew past. All right. So, but what I'm thinking of doing is once I get those first maps built, I am actually going to make copies of them and then cover them with the painted glass with the cartography table to lock them. And so what we'll do is we'll have kind of a map of the whole region before any of the work has been done, and then we will make some progress, do some terraforming, and then make copies again, and then just kind of keep working from there. And then I thought it would be interesting if then down the road, those maps could all be displayed in some way to kind of show the progress as we went. All right. Is that the map we're still on? Okay. So now 4156. So now we actually need to go north a little bit, but we're going to wait until we can sleep, which should be relatively soon. So what we'll do is we'll have a map where nothing has been done. Basically, just these markers will show up. And then we'll start doing some terraforming and then kind of build up the map from there, locking it in so we can have this like this whole display of the progress. How often that is done, I have no clue, but we will see. It may not be based on like time. It might not be like every few days to build something. It's going to be a hey, did we make enough progress that the map kind of shows some change and then kind of keep track of the time there. And so I thought that would be interesting so we can kind of have like a little record of the progress that was made. All right, so this is my current map. So now from here, we need to go to 4075. So we're going to go a little bit over a little bit and then negative 660. So we need to shoot north just a bit. So we're just going to kind of hop over and roughly here. So 4075, negative 660, so that should put us right here. All right, and so we're actually getting close to having just a few things left to worry about. And so we'll just kind of put some more wool down. I know I have some pieces left over, some pieces off to the side, but that's okay. We're just trying to kind of identify these so that we can easily see them on our map. Is this still on the map? Yes. All right, so we actually have two of those on the same map. All right, so we actually have just two more of these waypoints left to do. And then we will be good and set. Okay, so now we need to go to 3,772, so 300 blocks roughly that way, and negative 488, so we need to go roughly this direction. So 3772, negative 488. And I am off my map. Ooh, which direction? Okay. We may have a little gap when we do this one, but that is okay. We will deal with it because I will be coming back later to kind of piece all of these together, fill in all the empty spots. All right. Now, to make things easier on myself as far as the mapping goes, because I don't want to have to constantly be coming back and remapping stuff. I think one of the things I'm going to do is when I go to actually terraform and do all of this project, negative 488. Oh, witch hut right there. Oh, we are going to have to figure out if there's a good way to bring that into what we're doing. Because I would hate to get rid of that. So we will have to see if there's like a building around here that we can essentially build that all into. Make use of that and build like a little witch farm as we go. And we will do that as we build these buildings. We'll do some interior work with them. But the plan is also to create basically farms within them. And so that way we can have basically might serve as like a huge base. And we are off of this map too. Probably just barely. But that is okay. So let's go ahead and create this map. And get this one zoomed out. So yeah, we will do that. So as I was saying, I think one of the things I'm going to do is basically I'm going to pick a map and focus on it to be what I terraform. So that I will basically just take a map and be like, okay, the area that's represented by this map is going to be the area that I want to terraform. That way I can just update that one map and not have to update like 4 or 5 maps. Yeah, see that? We're right on the border here. Okay. All right. So where's that 125? Okay. So now This is our current map. So now we're actually going to go back this way. So we're actually going to switch back to that one other map, the 123. We need to fly to 4019 at negative 108. So we're actually going to fly a good bit of distance. So negative 4,000. So sorry, positive 4,000, negative 100. And we're off the map, so let's go ahead and land on the tree here and get this updated. So this would be much quicker if we weren't doing this with the maps, but I figured I want to get them showing up now instead of trying to fly back and do all this again. So we're just trying to do two things at once. And so hopefully it is not too boring of a video for you to see us flying around, mapping all this. So that's why I'm trying to spend some time talking about what we're doing. All right. So now what I want to do is tell you a little bit about the server. So it's a server that I have that I'm running. Math computer science students come on this server. They kind of come and go. 3772, so we need to go this way. Right? No, we're going to 4019, so we're almost there. Okay. So it is a vanilla server, and so there's nothing really too special put in. It is running 1.15.2. It will get updated to 1.16 when that comes around, and it seems reasonable to update it. The one thing we do is we do use some of the mods from Vanilla Tweaks. They're just minor changes. One of the ones that we use, am I on my map? Yep. One of the ones we use is, I like the villager trades where you get the mob heads. So if you kill monsters, you can get mob heads. You can actually get the micro mini blocks from the wandering traders. And then we have the one person sleep is one thing we have built in. And that's essentially it. I didn't want to really modify this too much from a vanilla server, but I did want to take advantage, especially the one person sleep is a huge thing whenever you have multiple people on. All right, so now we need to go back to the beginning. So we need to go south to 0, and then we need to keep going this way to 40. This way, there we go, 4950. And so we are almost off this map, so I'm just going to kind of run over here till we get off the map. There we go. And so we're just going to have to make a few stops for maps along the way, but we have actually plotted all of our corners for the project. And so, okay, good. I wonder if we can make it there before we have to sleep again. Depends on how the maps go. Okay, so 4950 0 is where we headed. So we're just going to kind of fly over here, and we're going to kind of dip off of this map. So let's go ahead and take care of that one. And maybe I can get there without having to put some maps away either. That way we are not spending a lot of time doing that. That way you can enjoy the torture of me trying to get all these maps to line up. I tried to organize them, but then that didn't last very long. Okay. So we're going to kind of fly over here. We're going to zip off this map real quick. Ooh, okay. Don't want to do that. Alright, so another map. And here we go. Let's zoom that out. So I bet some of you are probably like, you know, maybe you should have zoomed out twice. You could have saved yourself a lot, but I think we would lose too much detail if we did that. So here we go. Okay. So we're going to fly over here and stop at this spot. Make another map. I am going to run out of space for maps, aren't I? Hopefully not. Hopefully maybe just a couple more will get us there. But we are going diagonal, so there is a good chance we may... Whoop. Oh. I really got off track, didn't I? Because I need to be at 0, 49.50. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. We are back at the start. Okay, and so now it's almost nighttime, so we're going to sleep. And then, not shoot rockets. And then we are going to try to go through the process of putting these maps in. And that will actually be what we're going to try to finish up with today. So let me go ahead and drop off some of this stuff to make space for... Did I put a banner at that? I don't know. We'll see. All right. So let's go ahead and drop some of this stuff off. So we're going to make space for the rest of these maps. Yeah, there's quite a few. And then this is just the maps for the outside border. So now we're going to try to follow the numbers because I have them all over the place. I wanted them organized, but we lasted maybe 3 maps. But that's okay. Come on. Time to sleep. Let's sleep. There we go. I hear a bunch of mobs. There must be a cave right below us. And that's going to bother me. So hopefully no creepers sneak up on us. I tried to build this a little bit of space so we didn't have to worry about that. Okay. So let's see here. We got 135. So 109. So that was probably the last one. 131. Is there a 133 in here somewhere? I hope so, because I think they're counting. Yep, there we go. Counted by 2. So 131. So 129. And then 127. There's 125. 127. There should be a 127. 125. So 123. So 121. Put you there. 121, 119, 117, 115, 113. I'm glad these numbers show up. 111, 109, 107. So 135. So 1. Okay. So 101 should be this bottom corner. Okay. And 103 should be this one. 105 should be this one. And 107, I can't see it. There we go. 109. Is that 6 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay. And then 111. There we go. There's our corner. And this next one should be here. Yep. And then this next one, is it next to it? Yes. And it looks like because of the way we went down, so that's going to be where this one should be. Yep. And then here, I think we went down based on how we filled out. So I'm kind of following the path of what's visible. And I'll be sure to write all of these down, these numbers down. That way I can remember how all this fit in. Because, oh, nope. Nope, that was, that should be down one. Because that's the one that we kind of cut through. Yep. 125. So wait, there's the witch hut. The other one, this one should be right here. Because I remember going, okay, then next one should be down. Yep. And then this one, which one of those did we do next? I think, so that looks like that should be there. And then we did this one. And then this map, yep. And then this map. And, I didn't fill out, so I think I'm going to pop this one up. And I'm going to fly over there just to kind of fill this out just because I want to be able to see the borders. And so as I was saying, what's going to happen is I think I want to basically just focus on one map at a time, kind of terraform that area. That way I can just kind of pull this map out and not have to worry about having all the other maps with me and get that built. All right, so where did I put the map? There it is. All right, so as you can see, here is going to be the rough terrain. Oh, I can turn that off. Okay, good. The rough terrain of our map. So here is our bottom corner. We're going to make use of the village. We come up and we have this corner here. And then we have basically a triangle coming down to here. And so if you remember, so there is a little bit of cut-ins and some of these lines here, I did them as triangles. They're not exactly triangles, but they're close enough. We can get away with it. And then there's like no buildings at some of these edges. So even if we do just kind of fill this in as a triangle and kind of terrain it that way, that's not going to be a problem. The only one that's going to take a little bit of work is this bottom here. So this from here down to this point, I figured out the coordinates as a triangle, but the problem is there's a road that almost looks straight. That bottom road has a slight bow to it. And so what we're going to have to do is have to deal with that because there's a lot of buildings right along that road. All right. So as you can see, I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empty maps in the middle that are going to need to be filled out. And I'm thinking I'll probably fill some of these outer ones just so it doesn't look so odd and cut off like that. But there we go. So let me go ahead and hop up here. And so what I will do is between now and next time, I will actually fill out all the maps and then I will make copies of them so that I will have these down here underneath glass. So you won't have to touch them. That will kind of keep track of it so anybody that comes here can kind of see the progress on the maps. I will have my little shulker box over here that will have those maps in them so that I can kind of update them as I go. And then I'll probably have silver shulker boxes with some dates that kind of be like, okay, this is when we decided to fix some copies of the map. And then have another shulker box with another date. Like, okay, we made some progress. Here, we got another one. All right. Now, this is going to be a long-term project. And hopefully, with the next semester starting, we'll get some more students. We'll get some students coming back. Maybe I can convince them to kind of help out with some of this. Maybe if people are looking for wood or looking for different resources, I'll be like, hey, I need a bunch of trees cut down, and if you want some wood, why don't you come over here and chop it down? Or if you need a lot of stone, there's some mountains. There's a few mountain ranges in here that are going to need to be cleared out. All right. So, and that is going to conclude episode 1 of building a life-size model of Edinboro University of Pennsylvania. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you will watch future ones that will hopefully be a little bit more entertaining. Maybe some will be time lapses of some clearing some area out. And then, because the idea is I'm going to have to do some basic ideas of what to do here. Because I'm going to pop up the image again real quick, and then we will be done. So in this image, as you can see, we're going to have to map out where all those different buildings. So the gray, the darker gray is the buildings. The lighter gray is parking lots. Now this is all relatively flat. So I actually found this map from a website called mapper.acme.com. It's the website. And what I was able to do is put little markers at the different corners and actually get the distances between those. And so that's how I figured out the distances for what we're doing. Now what I need to do is I need to get a nice topographic map. The idea is I want to figure out all the elevation changes. And that's going to kind of guide our terrain. So I'm pretty sure I have an idea. I can kind of zip through and do some rough terraining and basically have the low layer be basically the water level, and then which is not too bad. And then maybe anything that's like 80 blocks or higher, because the campus doesn't go up. There's not big hills. Anything that's like 8 block height, 80 or higher, I can just clear out right off the bat, and then worry about the specific terraining whenever I get find a nice map that actually shows that for me. I found a few rough ones, but hopefully I can find some better ones. All right, and so that's going to conclude our video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.